Hi, welcome to the tutorial series of Beyond Mix. In this series, we will cover everything about Beyond Mix, the usage instructions, the different techniques that you can use, and the tips and tricks while you're using Beyond Mix. We'll also take you through all those products that you can create using this wonderful casting product. Beyond Mix is a versatile casting art medium that comes in two parts. One is the liquid and the other is the base. It's VOC-free, kid-friendly, non-toxic and a sustainable way of creating your art because it's completely eco-friendly. Now what can you create with Beyond Mix? You can pretty much create anything which is functional piece of art or falls under home decor category. You can create your planters, coasters, trinket trays, candle holders or even desk clocks using Beyond Mix. Beyond Mix comes in three convenient sizes for you. We have 700 grams or the 3.5 kgs or the 14 kgs to choose from. If you're a beginner, then 700 grams is the best one to start with. If you are a serious artist who likes to create a lot of home decor, then choose the 3.5 kgs or the 14 kgs. To add beautiful colors to your creations, we have wide range of Beyond Mix tints available. We have 12 different tints to choose from. So let's get started with using Beyond Mix and casting your home decor. So what do you need before you start? You would need a weigh scale, which we would use to weigh our liquid and the powder. You would also need a mixing cup. It could be a paper cup or a silicone cup like this, and something to mix. It could be a silicone stick or you could just use your popsicle sticks. You would also need a mold. Any silicone mold that you would use for your resin art or anything that's available on the market is good for Beyond Mix. You would also need the Beyond Mix tints with which you would tint your art piece. Last but not the least, you would also need Beyond Mix in your preferred size. Now I start to pour out the liquid in the silicone jar and I stop when it's about 140 grams. At this step, you are now ready to add your tint to the liquid. Always remember that the tint must go in the liquid and not after you add the powder. So this way you can ensure that you can create a homogeneous colored product in the end. So start with adding just a few drops of the tint to your liquid. Once you add the tint, go on and give it a good mix to see if you're happy with the color it creates. I am trying to create a pastel olive color to my end product. So I see if I'm happy with the color, I stop. If I'm not happy with the color and if I want to make it a little bit darker, I add just a little bit more to my liquid. But remember, always start with just a little tint and keep increasing it gradually until you're happy with it. Now I will need to add the powder to the colored liquid. The powder needs to be added exactly 2.5 times of the liquid by weight, which means I've taken about 140 grams of the liquid. So I add 140 multiplied by 2.5, which is 350 grams of powder. Now that the powder is added, we start mixing this entire mixture in the cup and ensure that there are no lumps at all. So keep mixing until you see a smooth mixture. Make sure you go through the walls of the cup that you're using so that there's no particles sticking out to the wall of the cup that would hamper your output. If you're working with a mold which has a lot of grooves like this one, the trick is pour just a little bit of mix and stop. Move the mixture inside the mold through all of the corners. What this would ensure is that you would get a bubble-free output when you unmold. Now I repeat this process just one more time because I'm working with a really huge mold. I would also give it a good tap to ensure if there are any bubbles in this process, they're released, so that the output is always smooth and flawless. So give it a good tap so that you release any air bubbles that are trapped in the process of pouring. Pour out the rest of your mixture and ensure that it is filled up until the brim of the mold. We now have to wait for about 45 to 60 minutes for it to completely set before we unmold it. Once it's 60 minutes, you should see that your mold should be getting hotter, and you can tap to check if there are any imprints that are being left on the surface. If there are no imprints, it means that your piece is ready to be unmolded. So we'll start with the unmolding process. So I start to ease out the mold from the edges and then push the piece out of the mold. If you're working with a mold which has like delicate edges, just make sure you're very careful in the unmolding process so that you do not end up breaking your piece. And that is it. Your casted piece is ready to use. Now we can use the shell as a candle holder or as a catch-all tray to sit perfectly on your desk. The smooth texture and the shine is absolutely unbeatable. In the next video of this series, we will see the different ways to create marbled items. So stay tuned and watch out for the next one in the series.